In the world of darkness, every human being has a single spark of potential. We humans come into the world with open eyes, and then we take our first breaths and begin to close those eyes and scream. Most people never open their eyes again after that, or when they do, they see only what they want to see, what they're told to see. But some people take that first breath and then wake up. Hello, and welcome to another lore video on Mage the Ascension. In the last video, we talked about the spheres of reality, and in this video, we'll talk about the relationship between science, magic, and reality. Science measures and defines repeatable, provable, and controllable phenomena. Reality is what one perceives about the world as they move through it. There's plenty of overlap between them, but everyone experiences things that cannot be measured, repeated, or quantified. Emotions can't be charted. Memories can't be reliably graphed. One person might smell roses and think of their first date, whereas another person remembers their estranged mother's perfume. Everything one experiences gets filtered through one's consciousness, and consciousness cannot be measured in a lab. The electrical impulses that signify love, anger, or memory might show up on a brain scan, but no process can define what those impulses mean to the individual. In a very real way, each person experiences their own reality. Science measures and defines results. Consciousness, on the other hand, involves impressions. Everything real is real differently, even when it covers common ground. Art is the language of realities that science fails to understand. Any mage, regardless of faction, soon realizes that what mundane people refer to as reality is flexible. A few constants, but lots of wiggle room. That wiggle room is where mages live most of their lives after the awakening, and the more enlightened or powerful they become, the more pliable the world reveals itself to be. A newly awakened person realizes that they can see the structure of a stone. A mage with training and experience learns to perceive and alter energies within the stone. The master can turn that stone to fog, and beyond mastery, they realize that stone and fog are both illusions to be transformed or ignored at will. In time, a mage realizes, assuming they live that long, that all of this is just an illusion, an earthly dream from which most never awaken. For many people in the world of darkness, that dream is a nightmare. Rats breed while children starve. The rich have more money than God, and the poor pray to get through another day with food on the table and a roof over their heads. Some people don't have even that much. Pundits and politicians tear nations apart for monetary gain. Cruel laws and social indifference have packed the streets with the lost and the homeless. There is still wonder in the world, but it's shadowy and fleeting at best. And the horrible truth of it all is this: people made this world. It's the reality they've built, sleepers and awakened and the folks in between. They are all responsible for this. Mystic mages blame the technocracy, the technocrats blame the mystics, and both sides of that divide are right. Some will say that vampires made this world, or that it's corrupted by some cosmic worm. All those theories also might be true. But the fact is, it has been allowed to happen. This world is what you make of it, and if it's dark, then darkness must appeal to you. Thankfully, as I said, it's not all dark, and hope trumps fear when you dare to make it so. Understanding the world is a scary place naturally lends itself to the idea that there should be safe spaces where the dominant reality has been banished, and places where magic is more than just a word. A building where each room has a fireplace that never runs out of wood, or a back door that leads to a field in Ireland. A closet on the 4th floor opens into a luxurious meditation room lit by candles that never burn out. Places like these are called Chantries, locations where magic and those who use it can be relatively safe. Chantry is an old term used by hermetic mages to refer to a mystic stronghold. Other groups use different phrases to agents of the technocracy. Such strongholds are called constructs, places where the full force of enlightened science may prevail. Nephantic mages speak of labyrinths, where a person loses themselves in the glory of the void. Other groups employ traditional phrases such as temples, groves, and circles, among others. A chantry's look, feel, and purpose depends on the group that employs it. A fallen labyrinth might be a law office of a particularly ruthless firm, while a technocratic construct could be a genetics lab where research protocols go far beyond what normal labs can work with. Form follows function in such places. If the owners need a wax museum, gun range, or holographic danger room, then the Chantry has the essential facilities. The size and scope of those facilities marks one of the main differences between a Chantry and a sanctum. A sanctum is modest, not especially magical, and fairly small, a large room or two at most. Chantries, on the other hand, tend to step outside consensus reality. Temples filled with small dragons or talking cats, studio apartments that open into endless fields, whatever a group of mages desire, they might find it in such a place. That said, a Chantry's size, scope, and accoutrements are linked to the power of the mages who own it. A group of gifted street kids probably inhabits a squat with a few protective wards and maybe a talking dog. The ancestral grove for a witch's bloodline could be filled with animals and plants that act like sentinels. And a safe house construct for a team of technocrats might have extra floors with sub-basements you won't find on any blueprint. Whenever possible, Chantries and sanctums get set up in or around places of power, ancient altars, deep wildernesses, and legendary peaks. In such areas, the lifeblood of creation flows, gathers, and occasionally clots. Mages call these places nodes, a mystic knot in an otherwise banal world. Nodes provide a refreshing sense of wonder. Even to people who don't believe in miracles, a node feels special, more real than real. Senses sharpen, perceptions deepen, breezes caress as energy stirs beneath the skin. These are sacred spots with a distinct presence of their own, and to those who know them for what they are, nodes are precious beyond words. Nodes swell up wherever deep passions or massive expenditures of life force shape the fabric of reality. Haunted houses, battlefields, renowned churches, all of them could contain or spawn nodes. Natural phenomena, too, shape nodes in places few human feet have ever touched. The most obvious nodes, however, have been claimed. Groups tend to build temples on top of them, or, if the technocracy gets there first, labs or shopping malls. Mages often fight over them, protect them, and conquer them in the name of gods and heroes. Some nodes are temporary. Energy wells up in one place for a brief period of time and then evaporates back into the world at large. Such wellsprings, as mages call them, appear at times of great excitement or stress, generated by the life force of the entities who gather there. Potent wellsprings can become nodes too, but most often a wellspring exists until a certain event, concert, a battle, a protest march, ends. Once the source of that energy departs, the energy either soaks into that place or drains away, like rain after a storm. Among mages, nodes are treasured not only for their metaphysical value, but for their restorative properties as well. Mage avatars absorb that raw material of reality called quintessence by most mages. That essence fuels the lattice work of all creation, restoring the sublime energy within all will workers. Quintessence gathers along these notes and wells of reality. Sometimes it manifests in material forms called tas, the concrete physical expression of quintessence, like ice formed from water. Tas takes a multitude of forms that can be held, carried, and broken down into the raw quintessence energy. Although mages who study the sphere of prime can understand such forces more deeply than most, quintessence slips out of the realm of concrete things and into the realm of subjective reality. It's slippery stuff, perceived by what people expect to experience. The nature of a node often shapes the energy, the feel, or flavor of quintessence, but the ways in which that quintessence manifests, if it manifests at all, can be wildly diverse. It's like a flow of spirit water, except that even that description won't capture what it truly is. It exists in the realm of poetry and metaphor, a shiny spark of liquid divinity. This energy is essentially the world's life force. It's one of those things people can feel but not quite measure. Quintessence is literally as real as one believes it is, and each person experiences it differently. If quintessence is water and tas is ice, then resonance is the flavor of both. Resonance echoes the intentions and emotions behind the actions attached to magic. Like nodes, resonance isn't limited to human activity. There are places that even the earliest humans could feel were somehow wrong, thanks to the resonance around them. A controversial but inescapable element of magic, resonance leaves a signature on magical acts. In extreme cases, it signs the mage as well as their activities. Candles flare when they walk by. Milk sours and grass grows. The technocrats and other hunter types keep a wary eye out for resonance echoes, so a wise mage is careful with the methods and intentions of their magical acts. The things mages do, magical or not, make a difference in the world of darkness. And for better or worse, their actions transform it. I make World of Darkness videos multiple times a week, so if you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Remember, Awakened Ones, reality is what you make of it.